Pharmaceutical company Sanofi raising its outlook for the year after earnings beat estimates. Joining us right now in an exclusive interview, Sanofi CEO Paul Hudson. Good morning to you, Paul. You did raise your expectations. Want to ask you about that, understand what you think happened in the quarter, but also wanted to get your reaction just to where the market is based on the back of that news, because I would have thought the market would have liked it. And right now there's still some work to be done here because the stock's off a little bit.
Well, listen, good morning and thank you. It's great to be with you all, Andrew. So we've been on a great run, in fact, since the beginning of the year, one of the stocks to make the most progress. So we'll get our chance to explain our story a little bit later on today, but we're very excited about what's going on. We're very excited about the launches that we're doing, and we're getting to a new steady state in terms of R&D, the readouts that we're getting, and the overall business performance.
So you have an opportunity now to sort of explain it to the markets a little bit differently. What do you think they're missing?
Well, you know, we've got 3 launches in flight. So we shared some data this morning to say that we have Beyfortus in RSV, just recently as last week, approved by the FDA. We have an opportunity to perhaps prevent almost 100,000 newborns going into the intensive care setting in the RSV season later. And we know that that's a really difficult thing for parents and for infants alike. We launched a drug for hemophilia A, Altuviiio, to try and help people on a weekly basis get back to a normal way of life. We launched Tzield for type 1 diabetes to try and delay the need for insulin for several years once you've been diagnosed and started treatment. And in fact, we had data earlier this year on Dupixent in COPD, which kills over 150,000 Americans every single year. So we're just in this new phase, this new chapter, if you like, a new steady state of bringing remarkable innovation forward. And very proud, by the way, of the work that everybody's doing. Underneath that, our underlying growth is still high single digit. So when you take away the one-offs and the other things, we're running an increasingly more efficient business, delivering first-in-class, best-in-class science. And sometimes it takes a little time to catch up, but you know, we're very pleased with where we are.
It has been a remarkable run, and you should get credit for that. I was going to ask you, you're talking about one-offs, and maybe you can speak to this. There's a one-off, what looks like a one-off of 400 million euros, that's about $439 million, expected on COVID-19 vaccine revenues in the second half of the year, with no further sales expected. Is that right? Can you explain what that piece means?
Well, that's right. You know, we played our part in the end in COVID, and we brought a vaccine forward, a very good vaccine. And of course, there were outstanding commitments that we delivered on. So we delivered on all the doses that were expected of us. And of course, we need to make sure that that figures in our financials. So everybody will benefit with the slight upgrade that we have for the remainder of the year. And then we're back to business, delivering on science, adopting AI, and really advancing the organization.
It's a broader question, and I know you're now effectively out of the COVID vaccine business, but do you think that vaccine business is over?
Well, you know, it's hard for me to predict that, but I think, you know, there'll be a trailing number of cases for sure. You know, we are really focusing on first-in-class, best-in-class science right now. We'll let the other companies, you know, really worry about where that goes in terms of a market value. But, you know, what I would like to see is some enthusiasm, and I think we're seeing it, by the way, in the vaccine literacy, the understanding of protecting babies for RSV. You know, you think about the number, 600,000 babies will need some type of medical intervention at some point this RSV season. We'd like to see the appetite and the energy really try and protect those babies. So we think Beyfortus is going to be the key player in that market from as soon as September.
What will that drug be priced at?
Well, that's still a conversation, but I can tell you this. We've made a commitment to make it an affordable, accessible price to make sure that all infants can be protected. This is something very important to us. We're a very proud vaccine company over a very long time. And, you know, for us, you know, it's a monoclonal antibody. It has a tremendous safety profile, incredible efficacy, up to almost 90% of babies being protected from going into the hospital. So it's a big deal, but we'll price it like an innovative vaccine. It's what we should do. It's responsible, and we believe that we can really help a lot of newborns this season.
Well, what's your sense of just what uptake on that drug will be, and what we've seen over, and the reason I was even mentioning COVID earlier is there's such a global debate about vaccines right now. I think probably for the wrong, but some people have other views of that. And what you and other drug makers are going to have to do to overcome that.
Well, look, all I can do is look at the data. I can look at data, high-quality data, look at the FDA approval of the vaccine, or rather Beyfortus, the monoclonal antibody for RSV, and bring it forward at scale and at an accessible price. And we're going to do that. I can tell you, and I seem to remember one of your own panel there today had a challenge with an RSV for one of their youngsters back in the day. The reality is simple. This is a huge unmet need. We believe appetite will be very strong. No baby should be in an ICU if it can be avoided. And that's very difficult for parents and for the child. And we're going to play a massive part in that. And that's soon, right? That's just a couple of months away.